I guess we better do this before it becomes the non-cool thing to do. So that in this game is great. If you were a backer of this game, of the original Bloodstained project, you will get access to this game for free. Unfortunately, anyone who did anything other than Steam kind of got screwed, as in they won't be able to have a code for their platform of choice until they sort that out. But you do get a temporary code on Steam, which is how we're currently playing this, because my preference was to get it for the Switch, so I can take it to anywhere I want to take it, really. Take it on the go, is the whole point here and what I'm trying to say. But let's get this started, because there's not a lot to say. First off, let's just get it out of the way. This is awesome. It's a fantastic game. It is very much Castlevania 3 light, is the easiest way to put it. So there's plot here, you know, it's not anything serious, but it's there. You know, you really don't play these games for the plot, but if you enjoy that kind of thing, there is some plot. So you get Zangetsu here, and this 8-bit spin-off of Bloodstained is supposed to be a prequel title. So these events take place before the events of the actual core Bloodstained game. So that is all that. But it's Castlevania 3 Lite. The reason why is because, well, you can tell they went 8-bit style. It definitely looks, feels, and sounds like a Castlevania-type game, given that basically what many would consider most likely the father of Castlevania is working on this with his own team. It would make sense. But if you have this on the go, if you have this on the Switch, I should say, you get the added perk of being able to take this on the go, which is why I did just that. And unlike Mighty No. 9, it is shaping up to be much better. Like, the fact that they already delivered something, and it's promising, two different things in the form of the original Bloodstained demo, as well as the full game, which is this 8-bit spin-off title. So, you know, I'm just going around sorting bitches, killing rats, you know, typical introduction to your Castlevania-type game. There are the equivalents to Medusa heads in this game, so that's an annoying thing you have to deal with later. Castlevania 3 introduced this whole swapping off characters mechanic. And in this game, and part of why I call it Castlevania 3 Lite, the difficulty curve isn't as, it's not as bad for a few reasons. One, it seems that you have unlimited continues. Two, there is a casual mode if you want, which actually takes away the knockback that happens. Three, when you swap characters, which was my main point, I kind of just branched off to other things. My main point was the simple fact that you can swap between characters and they each have separate health bars, and if you lose a life with one of them, you don't actually lose a life. Like, you just lose that character, and until you lose all the characters in your roster, which you can get up to 4 in total, you can play all of them at once. Like, they don't pool lives. So, like right now it says lives 3. If I had all my characters, then I would be able to go through all 4 before getting a game over and losing a life. There's a lot of alternate paths in this game, a lot of which are obvious. There's a character later where you'll be able to slide here and you can go that way. There's also a surprising amount of replay value for a game that's pretty short, although not short as I thought it was going to be. I could have sworn I read somewhere that there's only 5 levels. There's actually 8. There is a discrepancy to that, but it's part of what happens in New Game Plus, which I call New Game Plus because it's not just a second playthrough. There is an additional level, which is kind of nice, and a nice little, it's kind of nice, a good little twist on things to make it feel not quite the same outside of just a harder difficulty. And I think there's even more that I haven't discovered yet. So, in reality, kind of what I'm doing right now, I'm going to have to do it all over again on the Switch version when it comes out. But anyway, if you are not a backer of this game, you're still in luck because you can buy this great title for just $10. What you get for $10 is pretty worth it, in my opinion. You could also tell they grabbed elements from Shovel Knight because, much like Shovel Knight, it's done with a 8-bit style, but obviously a lot of the effects, mostly like the background effects and whatnot, are things you would not be able to see on a typical... like, you couldn't just take this and put it on an NES cartridge, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, it would not be possible. So this is where the Shovel Knight influence comes in, or at least in my opinion, because the bosses look very much like Shovel Knight bosses, as opposed to your standard Castlevania bosses or Castlevania 3 bosses, if we're going to make the direct comparison there. There are some differences, like visually, graphically, it does look like Shovel Knight. But there are some other things that kind of keep this having its own unique style. I'm probably going to die here, actually. This is your first boss. You know, he does stuff and things, tries to fist you from time to time, shoots fire from the sky, sometimes shoots fire directly at you. We're kind of slow to react here, so it kind of is what it is. He fists the floor from time to time. You just smash him in the face when you get the opportunity to. You know, nothing too crazy. Here he goes with the shooting something. Oh, he decided to not do that this time. I guess only if you're close enough to like punish him, he does it. And every boss, when they get near death, which I'm pretty near death, so I don't know if I'm going to potentially be able to get to that point. But near death, every boss has a like final attack that they'll do, which is exactly what it sounds like. They do one final attack, which tends to be unpredictable, or at least the first time around. Hell, I've done it a few times and I still fall for them. Where you could get hit and potentially die even though the battle is over. Like that. Luckily, they don't seem to do a shit ton of damage. Like, it only did 1 bar. So if you happen to be on 1 bar, I assume it would kill you. So it'd kind of be like, oh man, I just killed this boss. Oh wait, I just died to the boss. Kind of like a little way to tease you, I guess. But what you see is kind of what you get with this. So here we're running into one of many characters that you get in the game. I say many, but it's 4 in total. It's your main character plus 3 others. You can swap to them on the fly. They have different abilities. They have different weapons, sub-weapons, different health bars, so on and so forth. The character here is actually Miriam, which is the main character from the core Bloodstained game. So that's kind of cool. And she's more your traditional whip user. So she's closer to the Belmont family, if you want to make the comparison there. And they tell you how to play as each when you first get them. She can slide, which is what I was mentioning earlier with the whole... okay, I know how to play things. What I was mentioning earlier with the different pathways, so if you see a place where it looks like you can slide, you can do that with her. Like I said, 8 levels in total. Pretty great game. As long as you don't make too many errors, you'll have probably about roughly a 2-hour playthrough. Maybe a little more if you get impatient like I did. But not much more than that. If difficulty is really a factor for you, then there is that casual mode, which you know, makes the game more accessible to others. You know, it's something where if you appreciate old school difficulty, you keep it where it's at. But even there, it's a little easier than, say, like Castlevania 3, which is where the direct comparisons will be made easily with this game. But regardless, you know, this game's accessible to a lot of different people. You get a lot for $10. You even get some replay for your $10. You know, so it's a pretty good deal. I would highly recommend it. And that said, I will catch you guys on the next video. Buy this game. It's fucking great. If you have it on the Switch, even more the reason to buy it, because you can take this awesomeness to go. Take care, everybody.